Hi families, it's good to be back again on the video, and just wanted to let you know that we're wanting to help families to refine their academic processes, and so this video is going to be about the importance of scoring. Now, I know this is covered in your basic training, but some of you have done that training a long time ago. Please review the 10-minute video which goes through all of the processes. But we just thought as a staff it'd be great to just review the scoring process with you. So I hope you enjoy that. So scoring is a critical point in your child's academic progress. It's important for you to have a place where the score keys are kept that's secure and separate from your child's workspace, their desk or wherever they work, on the kitchen table. The main thing is they need to work where they can be supervised, not in the bedroom or anything like that. And scoring must be where you can supervise because you're in charge. This is your responsibility. So here's a score strip. We see the three boxes. The first box, when your child has finished a section of work, the first box here is the scoring strip where it indicates when your child goes to the scoring station and scores their answers against the score key. The second box is about the child going back to their desk to correct their mistakes. And the third box is when the child goes back to the score station and rescores any errors. So here we go. So let's look at the first step in the scoring process. As I've said, your score keys are kept in a separate place, maybe a table 1 meter away from where your child is working and where you are supervising. Okay, so that's very important because the score keys are the answers, and you don't want your child to be copying out answers from the score key. That's just not helping your child, and they're not furthering their education, and it's dishonest. So let's keep that in mind. So the parent needs to see not only where the student is working, but also they must be able to see where the student is scoring. So the first point is, once the child has got some work done and got to a score strip, they ask their parent, their supervisor, for permission to score. And that gives you a chance to have a bit of a quick chat, have a look through the work, check for neatness, make sure that the writing is reasonably neat. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want to provoke the child to wrath, but you can check all those things. And then you just say, yes, that's fine. And off the child goes to your scoring station. So off they go, and they have the score key on one side and their pace on the other side. They have a red biro, which is kept at the score station. They have a red biro in their hand, and they have with one finger go down the answers, the correct answers. And with the other hand, on the left-hander, they've got their red biro, and if there is an error, the error is indicated by a cross next to the error answer, and the cross is in red biro, and it's in the margin on the left-hand side of the page. Don't let them put red marks in any part of their incorrect answer, because they might be cheating and maybe indicating, oh, that's the correct answer, not that one. So that's a little trick to learn. The student, when they've finished scoring that section, they then put a red cross in the first box. The student then returns to his or her desk. Now the second stage, whilst the student has now returned to their desk, they just correct the errors. So wherever there's a red cross, they will go back to that particular answer, and in pencil, remember the red biro is left back in the scoring station, and now they have a pencil at their desk, and they use a pencil to correct his or her errors. Okay? Once they've corrected those errors in pencil at their desk, they then put a lead pencil or pencil mark in the second box to show I've done the corrections. That's called the correct mistakes boxes. They've corrected their mistakes. They are now ready to return to the scoring station to rescore. So this is the third part of the scoring process. It's called rescoring. They're going to rescore those corrected answers. And so the student asks you for permission to go to the score table to rescore. They return to the scoring station. They circle those red X's where the errors are corrected, as long as they're corrected. If they're not correct still, when they were correcting, they put the wrong answer in a second time, they cannot put a circle around that red X because it's still not right. So they just go back and repeat that process. Then the student, when they finish correcting and rescoring, they put a red X in the third box, which is the rescore box. And they return to their desk to carry on with work. They go off to the next page. Now, scoring is really important, and I just want to go over some of the reasons as to why scoring is important. It's all about checking the child for understanding. Now, there's another video we'll do about check-up signatures. That also is a point where you as the parent can check for the child's understanding. But here, at the point of scoring, you are checking your child that they're understanding their work. We call it CFU for short, check for understanding. Now, so the benefits to the student about good scoring are the following. It gives the child an ability to self-evaluate, to check themselves. Do I understand my work? They check their answers themselves. Now, some parents like, for the little children in, say year 1, maybe year 2, the parents might be very much involved in the scoring process, but certainly from year 3 onwards, you need to train your child to start to take that responsibility, like we talk about with goal setting. You can help them with setting their goals, but ultimately we want them to set their own goals. In this case of scoring, we want them to learn to take responsibility for their own scoring. So the blessing here is, unlike distance education, where I know in government distance education, a child can do some work and send it off for marking, and they may not get that scoring back for weeks. The pace is set up so that your child gets instant feedback, and so you can know and the child can know that they are on track, or that they've missed the point of that section of learning and they need to relearn that area. It reinforces good work. If a child goes to the score station and finds they've got everything right, that's fantastic. And they're thinking to themselves, I can learn. I'm smart. Okay, so that's really important reinforcement to the child. But if they have problems, and that's highlighted by a lot of red crosses down the left-hand side of the page, it highlights to the child and to you, hey, I'm misunderstanding what's going on here. I don't understand this. I better get some help. And look, this is really important, possibly even more important than what we've just said. And that's the moral development of your child, that your child learns responsibility, and also that it's okay to make mistakes. No one's going to judge them or growl at them or anything like that. But it's their responsibility for their own learning. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that they are taking responsibility for their learning. And also it's about honesty. I mean, I've been in learning centres using this curriculum with lots of children, and there's always a temptation to cheat, take the shortcut, copy the answers, memorise the answers, do whatever. I mean, I even had a child used to take a little pencil that was that big, hide it under their watch and take the little pencil to the scoring station, and while no one was looking, they would copy the answers from the score key. I mean, children are very creative, let's face it. You know that, and I know that. And that's not to be judgmental, it's that we are responsible for their moral development. Okay, the importance of scoring is this idea of CFU, checking for understanding. Now, the blessings for the parent supervisor are that It gives you an evaluation of your child's learning. It gives you an opportunity to check for the child's understanding, CFU. It gives you a chance to chat with your child about their learning. What did you think of this? What's the story behind that? Tell me about why it's a noun. How come you missed out all the 6 times table answers? And can I help you? What can we do to fix this? That sort of conversation. It provides feedback. You give the feedback to your child. You give reinforcement. Well done. Good job. That was so hard and you did a great job. So proud of you. Hey, that was wrong. How can we fix that? How can you fix that? How can I help you to fix that? That wasn't a noun. Oh, okay, let's look at it again. Now, I just want to finish up with something that my wife and I learned well along the track of homeschooling, and that was to check your child's scoring. Now, what you do, and the way you do this is when the children are in bed and it's all quiet in the house, make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and get the child's paces and the score keys and just quickly flick through the child's work and make sure that they have been honest in scoring. For example, a child might make a lot of errors on a page but not put a red cross, and you might have missed that during the day. But at night you can check and just make sure that the scoring is being done correctly. So thus on occasions, take your students' paces and score keys, check back into the pace to see that they are scoring carefully. Now, often children can be careless. Let's face it, they're children, and that's okay. They're not adults, and they can make errors, they can be careless, they can have a brain fag, go off wandering in their mind, wondering about what's happening this afternoon at netball training or wherever you're doing. But we must teach them to be careful. What they write in their pace must be the same as is in the score key. Otherwise, that's an error and it needs a red cross and it needs correcting. But the other factor is that children will try to take shortcuts. I know I do. And in this case, if they take shortcuts, they're not getting the best out of the curriculum. And you as a parent are putting in your life's energy into your child's home education. You're putting your money into it. You're putting everything into it. Your family focuses in it. And so to short circuit by cheating, I just find that that's a very wonderful, valuable opportunity to really help the child and make adjustments in their moral thinking. A negative is always a blessing from God. A negative is always a blessing from God because it's an opportunity for correction. And that reminds me of something else. As a parent, you're not so much interested in what your child does. No. I'll say it again. We're glad the child knows lots of stuff. What I'm really interested in is what he or she does not know. In other words, the errors where they've put a red cross next to an answer. Because if we help them to fix problems and misunderstandings and errors, that's lifting your child's knowledge, their cognitive abilities. It's a big plus. So don't expect your child to be perfect, and the errors, and sometimes when there's a situation of cheating or carelessness, that's a great opportunity for you to really speak into your child's life and help them to grow. And of course there would be consequences, and that's up to you to figure out. Just something that helps the child become aware of what the expectations are. So scoring gives you a chance to interact with your student. You have conversations with your student. So valuable. You can have conversations before they score, when they ask for permission to score. You can have conversations during the time when they're doing corrections. You can just watch them do it, help them. After scoring, you can encourage them, give them positive feedback or encouragement. Very important. Conversation creates relationship. It's very creative. Remember in the book of Genesis in chapter 1, God created the universe through his words. Let there be, let there be. When you are speaking and interacting with your child, you are creating things, circumstances, feelings, knowledge, ideas, corrections in your child. So I hope that helps you. And I just, we all at ACHS just want to encourage you. So God bless you. Keep going, and we'll talk again. So bye for now.